SAPS and Western Cape government have joined hands in the fight against the province's rampant crime. The two signed a memorandum of understanding in an effort to crack down on gang violence and extortion rackets in the province. Now, for reaction on this partnership and whether it will help in fighting crime, I am now joined by Kaylynn from Action Society, an anti-crime civil rights organization in the Western Cape. Kaylynn, thank you so much for joining us this evening. You're on the ground as your society, as your organization as well. When you hear about this partnership between national and provincial, renewed energy as well, what are your thoughts and reactions?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Our reaction, we definitely welcome this. For the longest time, we've been saying that different levels of government should be working together in order to alleviate and reduce crime levels. So we think this is great. We hope that we know that we do have a problem with boots on the ground and detectives working under enormous pressure. So we hope that there will be more resources pooled and more boots on the ground as well.
Now, as I mentioned, Kaylynn, you're on the ground as well, as an activist too. Now, when we look at the crime stats in the city of Cape Town, they paint a very horrible picture, attributing 50% of the crime in the entire province. What do you think needs to be done beyond the boots on the ground, besides signing memorandums of understanding?
I think that there needs to be more engagement with community leaders, community activists, community members who live in gang-infested areas, who live in areas where GBV is quite high. We do think that there needs to be more, we do know that the crime statistics has been delayed, so we do think that more needs to be done in terms of crime analysis. And I think that that community members need to start stepping up as well. Yes, we do have government doing their bit, but also community members need to take back their streets in terms of joining CPFs and joining neighborhood watches. I think that will also help in terms of reducing crime.
Yeah, and as we know, gang violence is also quite infamous on the Cape Flats too. The police minister had said they've been left for months and years. They are feared, but now that era is going to end very soon. If you can paint a picture of the kinds of crimes we are seeing, the kinds of victims that you get to speak to, or their families if they are deceased as well.
Absolutely. In my sort of department, I work under the Action Society's Action Center, and my role basically is to identify GBV related cases, or child murder cases, or femicide cases. And as Action Society, what we do is we investigate, we assist in terms of private investigation as well as court oversight. And this is to put pressure on the court system to sort of fast track the case, and also to, at the end of the day, just that the victim itself or the family members receive the justice that they deserve. So in terms of my department or the Action Center that I run, we are seeing an increase in GBV cases, as well as cases of the elderly. We are seeing more and more cases where the elderly are either being assaulted, or most recently, the most recent case that I attended this week is where a 71-year-old granny was raped by her grandson. So in terms of that, the department where I'm in, that is where I'm seeing the trends. But there's also in various parts of Cape Town that we are seeing more and more gang-related murders on the Cape Flats. And that needs to be dealt with. Just over the weekend, we saw in Rocklands, in Mitchell's Plain, where 6 young boys were shot at, and I think, if I speak under correction, 3 of them were killed, and the others were left injured. So this is just one basic area within the Cape Town area, but we are seeing in various other parts of Cape Town where gang violence is really, really out of hand. So hopefully with the minister being on the ground and engaging with various levels of government, as well as community members, we hope that collaboration will see a reduce in crime, specifically looking at gang violence and the murder rate and GBV within the city of Cape Town. So hopefully not only attending funerals and photo ops, but also engaging effectively with community members, law enforcement, which is the City of Cape Town, and hopefully see a reduction in crime.
You know, you ironically mentioned funerals and photo ops and things like that. We know that gang violence in particular has been a huge problem in the province. What has law enforcement been getting wrong?
Look, I wouldn't be the first person to sort of criticize what law enforcement have done, because I do believe that the City of Cape Town is doing its best in terms of LEAP officers that they have on the ground in various parts of Cape Town, as well as Metro Police. But they are not the assigned law enforcement agency in the country. It is SAPS ultimately. So basically, they are just adding the resources in order to fight crime. What I do think where we're going wrong is where convictions is concerned. It's no use we are getting 100 people arrested on a weekly basis by various agencies, and then when we come to the court system, probably like 2% of that 100 is convicted. So I think that is where we are falling flat. But in terms of manpower, I do think that we need more manpower. We need more officers to assist detectives, because on average, speaking to detectives across the Western Cape, in Cape Town specifically, we are seeing officers having approximately 300 to 400 dockets on their desk. So it's humanly impossible for one person to investigate 300 to 400 dockets and give it 100% attention. So again, I say that I hope that this collaboration, it's still early. I think they're going to sign a document on Friday, and then over the next 3 weeks, they will start putting plans in place. So hopefully this does it work out for the better.
Hopefully it does indeed work out for the better. Kaylynn, thank you so much for your time.